look at those faces. So you see everybody want to go away. So nobody wants to stay on MP Davis. I see that. But tonight, MP Davis is giving you that opportunity so you can register in whatsoever field you wish to pursue. If it is the farm work program, there will be, at the end of the program, the tent light will be on, and then you go there and you register. If you are going for the farm work program, you must be 21 to 45. If you are interested in the hotel work program, you should have some experience in the hotel sector, and you must be between 22 and 40. Any questions on those areas? Do I sound clear enough? Class, do I sound clear enough? Wonderful. So if there's any afterward, you can definitely reach out. Now, there is a next program that I am looking 20 persons. 20 persons to register. But you must be between 17 and 29. This is known as the Harchurch Summer Program. So all the young persons who want a job experience, a work experience, tonight you can get the opportunity to register for that program. Remember, if you are as young as me, you cannot register. You must be 17 to 29. This program is for 3 weeks. You either get it in July or you get it in August. The choice is yours. Fair enough? So therefore, no one should leave here tonight and go home without having a skill or having the ability to register to go on the overseas programs. The MP has moved it from the office and have now moved it into the field. So therefore, everyone have that opportunity. Now, I could not be up here and do not emphasize that there is a gentleman who have worked his butt off for 4 years and about 8 months. 4 years and 8 months. And I am telling you that when you have someone that can come to you and say, this is my achievement. This is my core start. He has worked for 4 years and 8 months. I know that I hear some person saying, oh, you know what, he's there for, what is the word again, Mr. Cook? For a decade. Let us break down that lie. A decade is 10 years. He do not reach half a decade yet. Can you imagine if you have someone who is working so hard for less than half a decade and is doing so much? I believe that every good term deserver, every good term deserver, I will leave that with you right there. You have an MP that is working. You have an MP that knows the constituency. He's not somebody that is guessing. He's not somebody that is wondering where is this place or that place. He has been here for years. I have worked with him for years, and I can assure you, sometimes when you ask him question, where is so-and-so? And say, oh, I know so-and-so man. And I have to say, oh, I just come. So we have an MP that knows every crevice and corner of southern St. James. So ladies and gentlemen, I am going to ask you to think of it. Every good term deserver. Every good term deserver. All right. I'm going to leave it right there. Mr. Cook, it is your turn.
Thank you very much. Put your hands together for Mr. Clark. You know, just listening to the goodies that he mentioned, I am tempted to say that he is Santa Claus and he's bringing goodies in May. Put your hands together again for Mr. Clark. Thank you, Mr. Clark. You know, with us this evening also, ladies and gentlemen, we have your own counselor who has been there for just a short time. And, you know, it is always a challenge for, you know, young councillors, young politicians to, you know, get into the groove and to get going. But I am sure that he certainly has been doing his best in representing the people of his division. He's here with us this evening, ladies and gentlemen, and I want you to put your hands together and make him welcome as he comes to bring greetings. Mr. Baker, Javin Baker.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Cook. And good night, everyone. Yes, I like how that sounds. Tonight, the pleasure is mine, of course, to address you in the capacity as your counselor. I know that we have, as the chairman for the program stated, just been here for a very short time. But in this period, what is happening to me now is a great amount of inspiration and a great amount of potential that I'm seeing from the persons here in this community, Roehamton in particular, and especially where we're not seeing a lot from the younger men. They're very eager, they're like me, very eager. They want to do it, they want to be successful. I just want to give my personal commitment that whatever I know and wisdom I can expect, leader and the member of parliament, impart that on you and support you as much as I possibly can. There's a lot of things that is happening in this division, and not to speak on it a lot, it's mostly due to the strategic direction and the strategic activity of our government. And I don't want anyone to ever forget how important it is to have real thinking persons leading your business, the business that are attached to your daily lives, the business that affects every single part of your community. So I think Mr. Clark said it, that one good turn deserves another. And from, again, my perspective and just moving around this community, even just this division, the size of it is going to take persons who truly understand what the landscape of the place is, what the composition of the persons who reside in the spaces, what needs are, and who can come up with the right, sensible, practical ideas to ensure that capital and labor equals success. So it is nothing out of the ordinary for me and for everyone here to give the biggest endorsement to our current Member of Parliament for the wonderful work that he has been doing, the practical work that he has been doing, the strategic work that he has been doing. Because what a lot of persons think is running a community is perhaps running a domino tournament. It is not. It is very complicated. You have to think about the needs of a baby. A baby cannot speak to you, but they have needs. They have needs that you have to anticipate, needs that you have to predict. Now, think about this constituency and the different type of persons and the different type of needs that exist. Would you risk turning this over to someone who has no form of experience or track record in any form of community building? The answer would be no. So for me, it's easy. I've been across Jamaica. I've been in plenty of places advocating for the government, and now I'm actually a part of it, executing some of the activities. And I must say that this leadership, Mr. Davis, has one of the better and more mature programs in running a division, running a constituency. And I want everybody to take everything that is being said here. I want you to go home, I want you to digest, and I want you to make a proper analysis of when it is that you're supposed to make your decision. Of course, there will be some biases, but if we are honest with ourselves, and if we check the scorecards, and if we are to vote based on what is right and what is practical for our communities, there is only one option. So again, I want to thank the MP for taking me under his wings. I imagine that I would have been involved in local government this young. I thought that I needed a few years. But I truly appreciate the mentorship. I appreciate the activities that we're collaborating on. And I look forward to serving and working with this community for as the people will entertain my presence. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Put your hands together for your councillor. You know, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Member of Parliament. And I have served with the Member of Parliament when he was the mayor and the councillor for this division. And at that time, he was dubbed the most hard-working mayor in St. James, and let alone in Jamaica. I have seen his dedication, I have seen his commitment. I know how much he loves the people, I know how much he loves St. James Southern, and I know how much he wants to St. James Southern to prosper. And because of that, he has been giving his all. He gave his all as a councillor, and he continues to work hard as a Member of Parliament. And to even be here this evening and to be around the constituency and to go to the various communities, being up front and close with the citizens. You know, we have known of members of Parliament who we have not seen face to face with citizens. But this Member of Parliament is willing to stand up front and close with his constituents and say, this is my stewardship, this is what I have done, this is what I will continue to do. Because he believes that if he comes to you and explain what has been done and the intent of his leadership, of course, you will recognize that indeed, as Clark says, deserves and not. Also a problem of Southern St. James, and I am willing to place my bet on this Member of Parliament to continue to take us further. I'm willing to place my bet on this Prime Minister to continue to take us further. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hands and help me with that. Your hard-working Member of Parliament. Yes.
Good, thank you. I don't have a chair. I know we don't have TJ here. We don't have TBJ, man. Come. And the place look good. Don't get things to say. And we're not about to give them anything to say. Because they won't say good things about us. Yeah. Come and sit, man. Come and sit up front, man. Good evening, everyone. It is indeed a very good evening. And this prayer this evening from a good friend, we're off to a very good start. Thank you very much for offering prayers. Right now. Let me recognize Councillor Baker, Councillor for the Cambridge Division. Let me recognize my team members who are here, Team South St. James. They have been doing a fantastic job. All I need to say to them, I'd like to be at the next place next week Sunday. They prepare, they deliver, and I had a debriefing with them that I can say that I tried without things went. So I wanted to give them a round of applause, because look here, this is just the beginning. Let me say a big thank you to the citizens who are here, who have taken up your busy schedule to be here. And I know I have a few visiting friends who are here because they want to make sure that I am protected and my back is safe. And so I say to you, thank you again. Some months ago, we met as a team. And I told them that I'm doing the unusual thing. And they said, what? I need to go through the length and breadth of this constituency. To my constituents, what I intend to do, what I continue to do. And said, no, we haven't heard of anything like that. And the first order of business was for me to say, listen, we need 12 meetings across the constituency. You might think you are the first. No. You are the 9th such meeting that we have been having. Some of them, I was shocked. Because meeting that parliament constituents of stewardship. Because sometimes you might be in Roehamton, for example, and you don't know what is happening in Maroon Town. Or you might be in Maroon Town and you don't know what is happening in Roehampton. So I took this on. Benefit of the people of this constituency. So this is my 9th such meeting. We have had meeting in Niagara. We have had meeting in Garland. We have had meeting in Flagstaff Garden. We have had meeting in Flagstaff. We have had meeting in Richmond Hill. We have had meeting in Duckis. We have had meeting in Chattanooga. We have had meeting in Kensington. And we might be missing out one. And we have had the last meeting we had was around in Mafuta. And to say that these meetings are a success, it would be an understatement. They were meetings that was beyond my imagination that these meetings would have attracted so many persons. But I'm happy for those persons who came out and listened to my presentation, listened to the things that I've achieved, and the things that I continue to get done. And so, let me just give you a brief history of this constituency. And you might not be fully aware of this constituency. This constituency of St. James Southern covers 52% of the entire parish of St. James. I'm not complaining. I'm just giving you an overview. So in other words, all 4 constituencies, or the other 4 constituencies, can be fitted easily to South St. James. So, as it relates to my landscape, it's huge. But you know something? I am at it for 20 years now. I am at it for 20 years. I have been the councillor for the Anchovy Division 13 years. But during that time, I was thrown in the deep to become your member of parliament. I ran in 2011. I wasn't successful. And I can't forget another meeting at my office in Anchovy. The people of Anchovy said, Mr. D, they don't want you to be your MP, but we want you to be our councillor. And so in 2012, they voted for me overwhelmingly to make me their councillor for a second time. I ran again in 2016. This time, the margin was much closer. It went down to the wire, to a magisterial recount, where I lost by 62. Then said, listen, we're still not giving up on you. So by 2016, another local government election again, and this time I was successful with the largest margin we had at that time. 2020, I think they saw in me someone who they can trust to be their member of parliament. And as such, they came out, they voted overwhelmingly and gave me a majority of 2,000 votes across this constituency. And for that I wanted to give yourself a round of applause. And I must say to you, I don't take your confidence that you have reposed in me lightly. I take it very seriously. I take the trust and confidence that you have placed in me very seriously. I put a very high value on it. Yes, I might not be the flamboyant type of politician, but I'm sincere. I am real. I am for you. I am with you. And I will continue to serve you to the best of my ability. So you don't have to have any fear about me. I am not here to trick you. I am not here to fool you. I'm not here to tell you that the horse can fly. I'm here to say to you, you gave me your endorsement. You repose your trust and confidence in me. And I say to you, you have no fear. absolutely no fear. And I will continue to work diligently, and make sure that the things that this constituency has been lacking for years, they will become a reality. And as one person said, I have been here for decades. Well, if I was here for decades, the ills that this constituency suffer, and in particular Roehamton and Lawson and Anchovy, it would not be there. When I did my survey in this constituency, there are a number of problems. But there are problems that are rated on the list. And this era, your number one problem is water. And the number one problem in this constituency. And I will go through a series of projects that are currently on the way to get started. And there is even one. Next Wednesday, we will be officially commissioning or opening a brand new water supply that was built by your member of parliament up in Lapland next week, Wednesday, the 4th of June. Well, let me start with the Endeavour water supply system. I'm sure you are very familiar with Endeavour. Endeavour is beyond Mount Warrior, going back to Springfield. That's an old system that was built some 40 years ago. And as a result of the lack of maintenance, it went down. Very little water coming from the source, even if the water is there. And so in November of 2023, Minister Samuda, the minister, and he gave instructions that the necessary replacement of pipes and the necessary replacement of pump is to be done. But to show you how badly managed that source were, when they thought they could have delivered the old works, which include changing out of pipes, changing out of pumps, they realized the job was bigger. The project is ongoing. They are having some challenges, but assure me that, Mr. Davis, it will be completed shortly. As a matter of fact, this weekend coming to replace some additional, because what has happened is that now that the pump is pumping, it has now more PSI, the whole pipes and just breaking up. So you move from one problem to another problem. But they are working assiduously to have them rectified. So I'm hoping that in a matter of a week or so, the area of Mount Urban, section of Fern and places like those will start seeing water back in their pipes. They see water, now and again, but it will be consistent. Up in Barnet Bush, water is up to a certain point, but again, the pipes just keep bursting. So they will still have a lot of changing out to do. I can proudly speak about the Tango River Roper water supply system. It was about 2 weeks ago we did a tour of that system. Myself and a team from Rural Water. Work should commence in this financial year. That project is valued at some $500 million. On completion, the following areas will be seeing water, piped water for the first time. Malden, Summer Hill, Flamstead Garden, Roehamton Gardens, Germantown, Top Roper, Bottom Roper, Dundee and other areas. Some of these areas, the vast majority of these areas, there's no piped water. As I said, these are big projects. On the drawing books for probably 2-3 years. That project will have to be done in 2 phases. Phase 1 will start in this year. Phase 2 in the 26th. We come to Spring Garden. That's up in Kensington. Work is being done there now as we speak. The work that is being done there now is the extension of lines in some areas, building of additional storage, building of a solar system to generate the electricity that the pump will require. And that one, I wanted us to take Minister Samuda there next week, Wednesday, but I don't think we would have enough work done there. But I'm sure that he will be back in short order to officially open that system, because some $20 million will be spent there. The Cambridge Water Treatment Facility, ongoing work is taking place there, but there's a major work to be done there, because persons who are knowledgeable about that type of system, they will have to change what is called the intake stuff. Because what happened to people in Cambridge and down in Plantation and even down into Bickerstead, whenever time it rains heavily, you have, mud getting in the source, and so they have to turn off the pump. And when they do that, it takes probably sometime around a week or 2 weeks for it to clear up. Up in Lapland, when I became the Member of Parliament, all the one from you is the water. And I'm happy to report that after spending some next week Wednesday at 4 o'clock, the Minister of Responsibility for Water, Minister Matthew Samuda, will be journeying to Lapland to officially turn on the pipe in Lapland and to show a section of South St. James that your Member of Parliament is working to give the people water in their community. But the one that means so much to me, the one that means so much to me and so much to where we are, because this school don't have pipe water. The infant school don't have pipe water. The matter of fact, nowhere here have any pipe water. And when I tell people that Roehamton don't have any pipe water, I remember when water used to pump from Mafuta up to right below the clinic there. And then it used to pump from the clinic. I remember it used to reach as far as the Baptist church. And it used to reach somewhere in Aki Lane and stuff like that. But I can assure you, with the Shetland anchovy water supply, that you see convenience. But please, it won't be for very long. The pipeline exercise is 70% complete. 70%. The work that is now taking place, and if you drive along the roadway from here to all the way into Hanover, you will see these pressure valves. They are testing the pipes to make sure that there isn't any leak in the joints. And then when they are satisfied, then they will reinstate the roads. Because they don't want to reinstate the road, asphalt the section, and pressure test, and then the things start leaking all over the place. But I'm so upbeat about this project. And this is a huge project. This is a huge project. This project alone is a little over $600 million. A little over $600 million. Which is about 10.5 miles of pipe from Shetland Spring. And you cross over into Hanover border, and you go up before you reach Burnt Ground, you make a right turn. And you might drive probably a mile to reach the source. So that is where the water is coming from. All the way up to that storage tank up at Mr. Nelson's property. So when it is up there now, gravity feed all the way, because up there is a high point, so all the areas can start getting some water once more again. So a lot of work is being done. There was some delay on the project. A few persons were spreading misinformation out there. And that is the challenge that we have as a people. For the sake of politics. For the sake of politics. But one thing I can assure you, that these pipes that are being laid and covered and tested, they won't be removed after the election is called. Because from my understanding, a lot of that has taken place in this constituency. Person starts say, a fool, because election they're near. Well, things are always being done whether election is near or election is far. But I can tell you, this project is real. The Prime Minister and myself toured this project sometime last year. So the Prime Minister can't afford to put his face and his presence on a project, and it don't materialize. As a matter of fact, I remember one of our own, we were up at Lawson there, where we were handing over one of his hope houses. And there was a gentleman attacked the Prime Minister, verbally though, and tell him, well, if the people them not get the water, they're not going to vote. And a young lady was there, you know. The young lady said, me at 35, you know. And me never see water up here yet, and people have vote every time. So if that is the reason why you're not going to vote, then I would say to you, that's not a good reason. Not a good reason. Something is being done. During the month of December into about March, there was a big challenge with pipes. really on the shelf that you can go pick up pipes like that. All these pipes, they all come from China, you know. And you don't just go to China and say, well, I want 1,000 length. No. You have to order them. You have to order them. So now that the pipes are here, those of you who drive can go down to Montpelier, down by the whole milk factory, and you'll see the pipes down there. You'll see the equipments down there. You'll see the men working on the road. So this is not a Samphire member of parliament. I have to stand in front of you and account for my stewardship. So let us take from here tonight that you have a member of parliament that is working to make the lives of citizens of this constituency better off. Because I know what rural life is all about. Nobody needs to come and tell me. So I can say, Mr. Hewitt, the project is moving full speed ahead. Full speed ahead. The project is moving. Up by the Shetwood, they're building new sheds, they're putting in new pumps and doing all the necessary engineering works. And you know as a plumber yourself, you can't just throw a pump, it don't work like that. You have to get the right people, you have to get the right current, you have to get everything. Up by the tank there, they'll be doing some sandblasting and, you know, get it back in good shape. Which so far it is in good shape, but just a bit rust. So when that finish, I remember I used to bathe, you can bathe out 4 times, and you will have water, right? You will have water. And you know, there's a saying, you know, there's a saying that water is life. And I think all of us should have life. All of us should have life. Because I tell you, you know, I emphasize with really, because sometimes I might turn on the pipe and he's the most miserable man. Believe me, man. So I can't tell you that I understand how you feel. Because I must be honest with you. I might be in the position, but not for a week. Water in the well. Some was in somewhere one night and a man reminded me, boy, you know, the good thing I can say about the former member of parliament. When he came, there was water all over the place. But when he was leaving, it looked like he take away the water with him. There's no water. But I will correct that, ladies and gentlemen. Your member of parliament will correct that. And when that system is corrected, when we start getting water, we're talking about some 6,000 residents in the community of Mount Carey, York Bush, Carey Village, Cotton Tree Heights, Anchovy Estate, Roehamton, Mall Road, Mahogany. All these areas will be benefiting from major infrastructure water project. So you have some more months to wait. You have some more months to wait. I can't say to you that the project will finish before the elections, because constitutionally the election is due the 15th of September. That's when the election is constitutionally due. But it can be held before. It can be held before. And based on what I know about the project, it will need a little bit more time than that. But I know you will return me as your member of parliament. And it will be hard for a member of parliament to be working so hard and for somebody to come and officially cut the ribbon to open this project. Don't allow it to happen. And what a day that will be. What a day that will be when the people of Roehamton can say, yes, we get back the water. And I'm working towards. There's a lot being said about roads. And by virtue of the size of this constituency, we have more roads than all the other constituencies put together. But I'm not daunted by it. I have been making representation. I know you have heard about the government spark roads. It's a special sets of road. Each constituency will be given some 10 roads. Currently we have started Bristol Road in Cambridge under the government spark program. After a slow start, but they have already now done the scoping and the bill of quantities. So I'm sure that we will see some work starting very soon. The Horse Guard Road, that is the next one to be done. We have other roads to be done under the government spark program, the Richmond Hill to Mafuta, Brothers Retreat, Catskin Stonehenge, Malden Jackson Road, Maroon Town School Road, Niagara, Comfort Hall to Whalespun Road. Those roads will be done. I know you might be saying, what about Anchovy to Roehamton? Yes, that one will be done soon, but under a different program. I'm hoping that sooner than later, we'll be here. Over in the Maroon, the Shaw Castle Road, that has commenced. That's a pretty decent piece of road. Some $55 million is being spent there. We did some minor roads last year, round in Pentland. We did one round here. We did some repairs to Marl Road. A few spots are there, but I can give you the assurance that in the second phase, we will complete what needs to be done up there. We are now over on the other side of the constituency. We did some road in Back Road. We did some work and we're doing some work in Spring Garden. We're doing some work in Bylawn Road. So all those roads are being given. And these roads are really community roads. These roads are really community roads. And you know something? You might not hear me calling too much roads in my whole division. Because I fixed Top Hill Road at the corner. I fixed Yarkbush Road from Park. I fixed Pentland Road. I fixed Crochet Mountain. So I work when I was in Parliament. Sorry, when I was a councillor. But the other areas were really neglected, big time. So what I'm actually doing, I'm actually catching up in those areas. We have done roads in Copperwood. We have been doing some roads in this division. 2 roads we have done. We have done a little piece round in Walespan that was giving the churchgoers mostly a challenge to negotiate a section that has been done, fully concrete, but the full structure shows CMEX that they are now prepared to give us another allocation to complete. We have done a concrete road in Copperwood. We have some roads to be done starting very soon. I saw the procurement officer in Kingston on Tuesday. We have Jubilee Road up in Duckets that will be done. We have Niggagong Road that's in Anchovy that will be done. We have Gully Road in Comforthall will be done. We have Jagoon Road up in Flagstaff will be done. And we have Spring Bottom Road where we want to give some attention to. I've spoken to the councillor and we're having a discussion as it relates to the road leading to the cemetery. Because the road leading to the cemetery is a cemetery that is managed by the municipal corporation. And they are collecting a fee for burial down there. And I think they should be the one to make a special application. And I'm saying to the councillor, I want you to push that one, right? Because you can't have the agony of death and then to go through that type of terrain there, to go down to the burial site, you know, it just makes the grieving period even more hurting. Because even the dead will grieve. We have done some work from Leety round to the bridge in Hanover. I've gotten some funds from Tourism Enhancement Fund, and we did a wall there that was broken away for some time. Long before I became the Member of Parliament, it was there. But my predecessor said, boy, he never have the money to do it. So, I know his money, he never leave back no money there. He never leave back any money. We did some farm roads. We did farm road in Adelphi Mountain, that's over in Spring Garden. We did some farm road. We did one over in Richmond Hill, which I hear that it needs some repairs now. But to be honest with you, the farm roads, I don't think they build them good. Those contractors, you know, they really do some shabby work. But I can tell you, one was done round in a place named Zambia, and trust me, that one was done very good. Barber Green some section, Chip and Spray some section. I saw the guy the other day and he told me that I think they are bidding on a few roads in my constituency. So I tell him that if it's not him coming to do the work, nobody else can come. Last year we had burial. I know your constituency suffers badly. The farmers suffers badly. As the Member of Parliament, I reach out to the farmers. We were able to distribute over 500 bags of fertilizer to the farmers. Some 250 persons who suffered damages to their homes from Hurricane Beryl will give him assistance through the Member of Parliament. And I'm sure that they have built back themselves somewhat. But I would say to all of us who are here that this year the hurricane season look like it's going to be an active one. So don't wait until you hear that the hurricane is 50 miles east of Kingston and Port Royal before you ever start jumping. Start check the things then from now. Start check your zinc from now. Start check how sturdy the whole lot, the 2x4 is. Start check on it from now, because it's best if you do the remedial work now than to wait until when the hurricane hit us. Health centers, South St.James, we have about seven health centers. Yeah, we have about 7 health centers. So far, 2 has been rehabilitated. And those of you who are from Cambridge can attest to the Cambridge Health Center. It was rehabilitated. It was retrofit with all the modern amenities. And I toured the clinic myself, and it is very nice. Very nice. The one up in Catadupa, nice. And for that I want to thank the Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton. But I can tell you also, there are some good news. I'm waiting for him to speak in Parliament. I think it's not this Tuesday, next week Tuesday. Because I know he will be making some announcement. There are a number of health centers that are to be renovated and upgraded. And these health centers are Mount Carey, Roehamton, Garlands, Maroontown. So Roehamton here will be given. So as a matter of fact, I think there's consideration to build a brand new health center. Because I don't think that one can be repaired. So I'm just awaiting to hear what it is that they will be doing there. But I have been there, and I remember once I went and I presented some fridge. I presented a fridge, microwave, and some other appliances there. And that was about a year and a half ago. And at that time, the condition wasn't very nice. My education program. I mean, what I've been doing for education, if persons before me were doing, I'm sure that the standard of education would be much more successful in this constituency. You know, I remember Roehamton Primary. Roehamton Primary it was the first school, I think it was in 2008, when Mr. Jennings invited me. I was a counselor then, young counselor, invited me, Mr. Baker, to the graduation. And I gave the top 2 boys and the top 2 girls, gave them a nice gift. And I didn't know. The following Wednesday, you know, I was in the Western Mirror giving or making the commitment. This school has a special place in my own heart. I remember when the lab was to be built, I was fully on board with Mr. Jennings. There's never a time in my 18 years as political representative that this school don't benefit from me, whether as a councillor and as a member of parliament. I will say something more. I don't think there's a house in Roehamton that don't have a Bible that comes from whether I was a councillor or now that I'm an MP. Because you see that little basic school over there, every graduate from 2008, from his Virgo days till now, we started about, I think the first set of Bibles we bought was, I think, is 20. I asked Miss Lawrence if she's there. It's about 35 Bibles we ordered now. So every year, Bible, Bible, Bible. So there's hardly a home in Roehamton that don't have a Bible that come from Homer Davis. You know, sometimes I say, you know, if all the houses in Roehamton that have my Bible, they vote for me. We don't need no more vote elsewhere. Okay? If all the houses in Roehamton. But I know the Bibles are there. I know I've reached out to hundreds of children from this school. And not only this school, but all the primary schools in this Cambridge division. We have now taken it a bit further, where all the primary schools in this constituency, every year since I became the member of parliament, and even before when I was the mayor, we have what is called the High Achievers Award function, where all the top performing students who does PEP exam, Mount Carey Baptist Church, big things. We have been doing 120 of them for the past 7 years. Do the maths. Do the maths. I was somewhere recently, and a young lady came up to me and said, Mr. D, you don't remember me, you know? I said, no. I said, okay, I remember you. I can vote now, and I'm going to vote for you. That's what she said to me. So I said, why? I said, no, I remember when I did my PEP exam, you over at Mount Carey Baptist Church, make sure that you make that grade 7 landing much softer for my parents and myself. So I know that I have reached out to the children of first, before primary school, Roehamton, Bickersted, Anchovy, and Lethe. Right? I have reached out to them every time I come. But sometimes when I walk in Anchovy Square and walk anywhere, Mr. D, Mr. D, Mr. D. I said, yes, he's one of my students. But I have not given up. I have not given up. On a yearly basis, we reach out at least 700, 800. I remember last year we did up to 1,000 students for book vouchers. Last year we spent some $7 million on book voucher alone. And I not give pick $1,000. And I made that. And I know that can't do nothing much. Now if you can buy at least 1 or 2 books. You know, the higher you go up, 6 on the books and dear. But I have always reached out to the children. I've always reached out to the students who attend the tertiary institution, like the Teachers College, the universities, the Com College. As a matter of fact, I told a guy the other day we were talking. I said, as a member of parliament, I think I have contributed to more Sam Sharp students than most other members of parliament. I'm sure of that. Because on a yearly basis, we reach like about 70. And of that 70, at least 30 attend Sam Sharp Teachers College. So it's not the amount of roads that you fix sometimes. It's how you reach out to others. Because, let me tell you, we are a very proud set of people, you know. Very proud. And this is why when someone is seeking some help, then pull you one side. You know why they pull you one side? I don't want nobody here. They don't want anybody here, you know. Because they are proud. And so, I understand that. So you'll see people pull me aside. I always go because I know we are a proud people. I couldn't be here tonight and don't speak about security. I couldn't be here tonight and don't speak about security. And in speaking about security, I must commend the police, men and women in this parish of St. James. They have been doing a magnificent job. I can tell you the murder rate in St. James is down 70%. 70%. We're not talking about what the commissioner said about the month of May, you know. We're talking about St. James. St. James. When sometime on a weekend, all 5, 6 people are dead. As a matter of fact, the superintendent told me that my constituency spoiled the record because we had the first case of shooting down in Montpelier about a week ago in the parish. First case of shooting. So the police, I don't think, ladies and gentlemen, you must talk about these things. It is not happening. You know. It's because of the direct investment into the security of our country by your government. It is not an accident. It is not a buck-up. And let me tell you something. It cannot get back to where it was. It will not get back to where it was. So those who have certain intention, my advice to them, please, don't bother with it. You're not going lucky. You're not going lucky. Because, let me tell you, which I won't say anything, but you're not going lucky. So if you think you can run and you can hide for 1 and 2 days, and tell the others. When I was a counselor in 2007. And when the old Anchovy police station, they had to close it. And I walked with the sergeant and go over to the post office, and a big section of the post office was vacant. And I said to Dwight Nelson at the time, was the Minister of National Security, opening up the new police station, I think it might very well happen before the end of June, early July. I spoke to Minister Chang, and he said that, round about that time. But I think I could go on and on and on and on, but I know that there are some work to be done around the back there. Because let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. I don't want any of you who are seeking assistance ever think for one moment, that we are not sincere in what we are doing. So persons are going around making mischief, telling lies. We don't issue farmer cards anymore. They don't issue farmer cards at this early stage. When you pass the test, when you do the medical, then you have a form that you fill out to cover your data when you're ready to do your biometric. Councillor Baker asked me this evening, what is our success rate with the farmer program in South? Well, I can tell you, we are very successful. I think our success rate could be as high as between 40 to 50% of persons, because we don't recommend persons who we know is, not going to make it. So when you go over there and give your information, we are real, we are genuine. We are not about samphire business. We're not about running up and down and try to give the impression that we are so nice of a person. But when your back turns, there's no niceness anymore. Mr. Clark announced a program, but I know the youth summer employment program again will be coming up. That one comes through the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. So that is a youth summer employment program, and they will be offering, Mr. Baker, they will be paid $17,000 per week, and they will work in their respective community. I don't know what is the usual nature of the work that they normally do. Check street light, check for indigent houses, check for different things. And they will be employing such 10,000 young people. School children start from age, I think it's 16 or 17, right? So some 10,000 of them. So if you have your son or your daughter reach 17, get them. The office will have some of the forms as soon as we get them. But what you have to encourage them to do is to encourage them to have a bank account. A bank account is very important. Just like how they get the TRN, a bank account is very important. But I will allow you now to go and speak to Mr. Clark over there and his team. Those who would like to try the farmer program, he will just tell you what you need to do. Those who want to go to art to further their studies or to be certified, he will just take your information, and from there now then he will follow up with you and tell you exactly what you need to do. Ladies and gentlemen, the night is moving, and I thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope I've said enough. I know the moderator will be here, Mr. Cook, and I know he will take some questions from the audience. Okay? Good. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much, Member of Parliament. Put your hands together for a wonderful presentation by your hard-working Member of Parliament. And I know if he continued, he would perhaps would be here until 12 tonight with the work that he has been doing. Are there any questions, ladies and gentlemen? Are there any questions? All right, if there is no question at this time, ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you stand for the singing of the national anthem. We begin after 3. 1, 2, 3. Eternal. I just want to thank you all again, citizens of Roehamton and surrounding communities, for coming out. We want to thank your own hard-working councillor, Councillor Javin Baker, and indeed, we say thank you to the Member of Parliament, your own Member of Parliament, Honorable Homer Davis. May God bless you all, and may God continue to bless your community and this Jamaica land we love. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of the night.